So the question is, do you believe that an AI can fall in love with a human? The Infinity Particle is a graphic novel that was created by Wendy Xu, and you guys, it is one of the best romances that I have read. It's a very wholesome romance. Let's hop right into this analysis and review of it. So this story is about a romance between an AI that looks like a human and an actual human. There are a lot of deeper messages in this story that are about identity and coming into yourself and finding who you are as a person. So this book really melted my heart. I usually read things that are more on the side of smut. I'm not even gonna lie. And I do like a good mystery sometimes, but mostly I read romance novels that have smut or wholesome romances or manga, something to that nature. I did not expect to like this book as much as I did. I like it so much that I am considering buying a copy for myself because I know I'm going to want to read it over and over again. I was visiting the library with my boyfriend and I just saw this book and I was like, you know what? I'm going to get it. And I just didn't think that I would end up liking it as much as I did. I'm a diehard romance fan, but I don't normally gravitate to like scientific or fantasy types of books, but for some reason this one caught my attention. This story was very cutesy, but it was also very deep. There's themes of control and grief and all types of things in here. Also, this is my first time doing a video like this. I've never done a video review of a book, so
Cut me some slack if it's not that good, okay?
I'm also going to be discussing the whole storyline of the book. So if you don't want any spoiler warnings, I would suggest you read the book first and then watch this video. If you don't care about spoilers and you think you might still read it anyway, then keep watching this video. Also, y'all fucking with the makeup? If you see me looking down, it's because I have notes on my iPad so that I won't get off track in this video. So what is this story even about? So at the center of the story, you got Clem. Her real name is Clementine. She is trying to build a new life away from Earth. I think the planet that all this takes place on, I think the planet's name is Tithonium. I could be wrong. I will insert the name of the planet name. I can't remember. And then you have this humanoid AI named Kai. And of course, he's clearly artificial intelligence, but he has feelings, thoughts, all types of things. The more that Clem gets to know Kai, the more she realizes more things about his life. So Kai is basically a AI that belongs to Dr. Lin. Dr. Lin is this big AI pioneer that Clem is working under, and that's why she meets her. Clem is like obsessed with the lady, and when Clem meets her, Dr. Lin also has Kai there and they introduce each other. Of course, it wasn't like love at first sight or anything like that, but apparently most of the AIs in this story are made like animals. For example, Clem has an AI named Senna, and Senna looks like more of a bunny type of situation versus Kai, who looks like an actual human. The first thing that really got to me in this story was Clem's backstory. Oh my goodness, y'all. She just wanted to get away from all of the things that was going on Earth. Clem was basically, so she is a human, but she's a created human. The whole notion of like creating a baby outside of the stomach. So her mother basically took all the best parts of herself, basically like a surrogate baby. And that's how Clem was formed. Her mother basically wanted Clem to be everything that she was not. And she gave her all the best parts of herself to try to propel Clem into being that person. But Clem was not following mommy's plans and mommy didn't like that. One of the major things about Kai and Clem is that they were both created for another purpose. Clem was created to be better than her mom. Kai was created to be an assistant to Dr. Lin. So they both have that in common. So let's just get into some of the plot of the story. So as I said, Clem is in this new city and she's looking for a job. She finally got a job with Dr. Lin. Actually, I think she moved there because she got the job. So she starts working with this girl, I forget the girl's name, but she starts working with this girl under Dr. Lin. And she ends up meeting up with Dr. Lin and Kai, and her and Kai are having all this conversation. And Kai is just basically telling her, like, I'm created for Dr. Lin. I need to do everything Dr. Lin wants me to do. I'm programmed to do everything she tells me to do. And Clem is just like, you don't have to do everything that she says. You don't have to do everything that she wants you to do. You're your own person. One of the things that Clem is big on is, even though they are AI, that they should be able to have their own wants, and they should be able to do what they want to do. That's how she treats her personal assistant, Senna. Senna is an AI, but Senna has her own thing, and she can go off and do what she wants to do. There was one time that they were mentioning in the story that Senna literally left Clem for a few days, and Clem let her do that because she's allowed to do that. Actually, I don't know if Senna is a she or he, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure it's a girl. There were a lot of cute romantic scenes in this book. For example, Kai wanted to meet up with Clem and show her something that is near and dear to him. One of the things that Dr. Lin let him keep for himself when she was creating him. When she created him, he woke up and saw the room, because he was in like a hospital room. He woke up and saw the room, and he saw a plant. And for some reason, he was really drawn to the plant. And so Dr. Lin let him have his own greenhouse. He wanted to show Clem his greenhouse. And so he brought her there, and they shared a nice little moment, and he came to end up telling her that he cares about her and that he worries about her. And one of the main plots that's going on in the story is that Kai has a glitch in his system and he can't figure it out, so Clem decides, hey, I can try to figure it out. She's good with this stuff. And Dr. Lin finds out that Clem tried to get into Kai's systems. And Dr. Lin was like, you're not supposed to be doing that. She went off on Clem and was like, Kai is mine. You don't need to be going in his systems. And so Clem, of course, apologized and was like, I was just trying to figure out what was going on. But Dr. Lin was not having that. And so she did something to Kai. It never really fully gave what she did, but it was just like one of those cliffhanger type of situations. And then it goes into the next part of the story. But there was something in Kai's system that was making him glitch. And later on in the story, you find out that this glitch is something that Dr. Lin has hidden inside of Kai, and it's her grief from losing a son. Dr. Lin had a son, and she modeled Kai to be like her son, or at least what he would have been. I'm pretty sure he died in childhood. So she modeled him to be what she thought that he would be. And that was the glitch. And the glitch was the son trying to tell Kyle, you need to figure out what's going on and you need to fix it, or else ain't nothing gonna be right. And so one of the things that they were trying to do is induce the glitch so that they could figure out how to fix it and how to free Kai from Dr. Lin's clutches. Kai ended up telling Clem that the only thing that makes him glitch, he glitches when he thinks of her. And so they were at this museum/library, and he told her, hey, the only way I can induce this glitch is to think of you. And he kisses her and immediately glitches out. But the thing is, when he glitched out all the other AI animals and things around him. So everyone's like,
well, yo, what's going on with my shit?
Once they figure out that something is going on with Kai, they end up reaching out to this lady named Dr. Han. Now, Dr. Han taught Dr. Lin, and Dr. Han is very much like pro AI, can have their own feelings and own everything. And so she's like retired, she's living her best life. But Clem and Kai end up finding her, and she tells Kai, you have the power to be free of Dr. Lin. You just have to like find it within yourself. And told him that she could tweak his systems and stuff so that he can free himself from her. So Kai ends up figuring that out, but because Dr. Lin has a tracker inside of him, she finds them, and she has this button. She has a self-destruct button, and she basically telling them, look, give me my Kai back, or else I'm like, ain't nobody gonna have him. Basically telling him, you either pick me or you just gonna cease to exist, whatever the case may be. And Clem was like, oh no, you're not doing that to my man. She literally smacked that button out of her hand and was like, you're not gonna touch my man. You hear what I'm saying? And the story itself is just so wholesome and cutesy. And Kai is finding out, I can care about things other than Dr. Lin. I can do things that I want to do and make decisions that I want to make. And I just love that about the story, because it isn't just a romance. It combines grief and control and all sorts of things together. Honestly, the way this book went, I was trying not to spoil everything in the book. Like, you have to read it to get the gist of everything. I honestly suggest that you read it. Check it out at your local library. I know it is on Hoopla. If anybody, like, I know some libraries use Libby. I haven't checked Libby, but I know for a fact it's on Hoopla. It is called The Infinity Particle by Wendy Xu. I suggest everyone read it. Honestly, if you just sit down and read it, you can finish it in like an hour. It's not that long. I really can see this graphic novel being a movie. Honestly, it's so good. And then it's not just black and white graphics. She does it in like reds and blues, and it's just so pretty. And I can genuinely see this being a really good movie. And as much as people are like, everything about AI, like, I don't really like AI. In the terms of this story, it is a very cutesy story. And, I'm just assuming that they lived happily ever after. I would love to see this in movie form. I would even love a sequel into how their lives went after it. Wendy Xu, if you're watching this, I know you're probably not going to watch this, but if you're watching this, I would love a sequel if you have it in you. She also wrote this other book called Mooncakes. I have not read it yet, but I'm definitely thinking about giving it a read. Some critiques that I have for this story is that I would have loved to hear more about Clem's backstory. Like, it talked about her mom basically did this type of surrogate situation in a way, basically created her out of the womb type of thing. But like, I wanted to know more. When people ask her about her past, she gets all like, ugh. So I just would have liked to delve deeper into her backstory. I would have loved to see more of Dr. Lin and her son's story. Like, what is causing her all this grief? What is making her this way? What happened to the son? I just wanted to know. I think all we can deduce is that he died, but like, what happened to him? I want to know what happened to him. I honestly would have loved to see more character development after Kai decided, hey, I'm gonna get my freedom. I would have wanted to see more, like a more gradual uprising of him getting more like freedom and more like, where he just wants to be himself and he doesn't want to be under Dr. Lin's thumb. As I just said, would have loved to see a little epilogue or something demonstrating Clem and Kai's romantic relationship after the fact. Y'all, there is a scene in the last few pages that just had me squealing because, like I said, I am a hopeless romantic. I love romance stories. I love a little bit of spiciness in my stories. So like, it's not spicy at all, but like, it's just a little thing in the last few pages that just got me really giddy. And I would have loved more Senna, because Senna, she had like a little bit of times in the book, but I would have loved to get more character development from her as well, because she was a funny little AI. She was hilarious. So my final thoughts are that overall, The Infinity Particle gave me everything I needed in a book. It was romantic, it was emotional, it was soft, it was deeper than I expected it to be. It reminded me that you literally can find love anywhere. Who would have thought that they would be falling in love? A human and an AI humanoid. Who thought? Nobody thought. It also brings up this theme of like, real love allows people to be themselves. It doesn't control the way Dr. Lin was controlling Kai. And one of my last final thoughts is that I love that Clem and Kai were created for someone else. They were created to be something for someone else, but they decided to be their own person. And that is the biggest takeaway from this story. They, in a world where all of the odds were stacked against them, they became their own people and did their own thing. But anyways, that is all of my thoughts for this story. Let me know, do you think that you would read it? Have you already read it? What do you guys think? And should I do more book reviews? I love to read, y'all. I stay reading. And so I would love to do more book reviews or just talk about more topics, do more like sit down and chit chat videos. I do have to come up with a better script for how I can do these videos and how I can show certain things. But just let me know in the comments. And I always like to end my videos with a question or something to that nature. So let's see, this video's question will be, would you move far away from your family, far away from everything that you've known, in the hopes that it will advance your life? Would you do that? But anyways, I'll catch you in my next video. Love you. Bye.